Good afternoon, Cretans. This is Mr. Mano once again. Today, we're going to cover chapter on computer management. Like yesterday, we spoke about different types of the software, including the system software and the utility programs and the freeware, shareware, and the proprietary software. And now we're going to talk more about how to manage your computer. Like we said, we know the main program of which is our system software is the one that gave us that opportunity to manage what our computer by providing us with what the utility programs. Now, at the end of this chapter, I'm expecting you to be able to create the shortcut, use the snipping tool, and print screen to take the screenshots. And also, you must be able to compress and decompress files and the folders. I believe now we all know the difference between a file and a folder. And then also you must be able to add new peripheral such as the printer and mouse and change the printer to the default and explain what queue management is. And also we must be able to print file. Now, computer management. So as you can see here, this guy is chopping his computer with an X. So, but here we need to know how to manage our computer. Okay, let's talk about the shortcut anyway. What is a shortcut? A shortcut is an icon that works like a link to a specific program and file or folder. Like for example, these are the files. So then they are located somewhere on your operating system. But now before you can go direct to the location to access the program, you can make a shortcut that will just link you to avoid to waste much more time looking at the program at its original location. Then we're creating the shortcuts as they looks like this. Then you see these icons here, and then with this arrow diagram that looks like this, it shows that this is a shortcut of this program. Like for example, this is a shortcut of PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, and the Access. Then in most cases, we find this shortcut on the desktop. Some shortcut, you can put them on the taskbar, but those one, then you can pin them. Let me just continue about the following shortcut icon will be found on the desktop, whereas after you can add your own, then my documents, computer, and the recycle bin. Then normally then this one, then like you see, they said you can see them on your desktop. Then how to create a shortcut? You must right click on the desktop and choose new from the menu. Like this is the menu that you'll see like this one. When you right click, then you'll get this, and then from there, so what you do, select shortcut, then you choose new, like as you do here. Then immediately, then when you choose the new, then you'll see this menu again. Then on it, then you select this shortcut and enter the name of that shortcut. That's how you can create a shortcut. Like for example, we've got document shortcut, then we've got all these other shortcuts like we have seen before. Now, the other way of creating the shortcut, other than that one, because you don't have to depend on one method. Let us say that you want to make Microsoft Excel to appear as an icon on the desktop. So now, how do you go about that? So you should click on the Start button and choose all programs. Go direct to the Microsoft Office. Click on it now. Right-click on Microsoft Excel, like as you see here. Then from there, choose Send to Desktop. So what are you sending there? You'll choose the compressed zip folder. So desktop, create shortcut. Like since now we are talking about the shortcut, that means you'll have to click on the shortcut. So that's how you can also create a shortcut. So this is how we manage the programs on our computer, by the way. So remember, the concept is all about the computer management. So now on other side, then we can talk about the screenshots. Let me just define first what is a screenshot. A screenshot is an image of your computer screen, like what you see on the desktop, the background of that. So you can take the image about that, press the print screen button on your keyboard, then automatically then it will snapshot that and open Word documents and PowerPoint or any other application, then you paste that, the screen image will appear on that application after you have pasted that. Another way to do, you can use the snip tool to do this. Like I said, on the snip tool, can I share the second screen again so that you can see how to use the snip tool? Like I said here, then no, before, let me just do this, advanced file. No, I don't want to share file, then I just want to show you a process. Whiteboard, this is my whiteboard, so, but I'm not going to write anything on my whiteboard. I just want to go to start menu, snip tool. On the snip tool, I believe now you can be able to see the snip tool there. Then you go and open the snipping tool. Okay, portion of the screen. That's what I can simply say. I'll share the portion of the screen like what you see here. I don't know whether you can be able to see this. No, I'm not going to share the portion of the screen. Then I'm going to stop this. And then I'm going to go back and share the snip tool, because yes, this is a program that I'm talking about. You just open this from there. You just click on new. Then immediately it freezes whatever, any area that you have just selected. Then let me just go back again. So new, then you can simply do this by default. Then you'll just get this as an image. Then you can come to edit, then copy. Then you can paste that the same way that you did using what the screen, the print screen button. So then, like as you see here, you can save this snip tool as HTML, PNG, GIF, JPEG. So these are the images. So like they said, they have explained that. Thank you. I'm going back to the original document that I'm just talking about right now. So then now we know how to do this. Like I said, these are the programs that we can be able to create with the snapshot. And then let's continue. Okay, I'm going to share the new screen again. Okay, like after using the print screen on the button, so this is what you'll see as an end result of what you have done. The results of taking the screenshots of your desktop. You'll get these results when you paste on the Microsoft Word, because that's what was on your desktop. So now I believe then we're done about the shortcuts and the screenshots. Then let's talk about decompressing files and their folders. Decompress or unzip a folder to change it back to its original state. But before that, let's talk about the compress. To compress is to make it smaller, maybe for sending it with an email, because we know some of the email attachments, they need to be smaller than we cannot. That is why sometimes we need to use some cloud storages or the SharePoints in order to share the big files, because some of the email, they cannot be able to allocate the big files. First, find the file or folder that you want to compress. Right click on the folder and choose the send to, then compress, like you have seen the same way that when we are doing the shortcut. So the same applies. Like, remember when you decompress or unzip now, that's when now you are taking that file to its original state or the size. Simple to open it so that we can access the file, because when that file is zipped, then is read only. That means you cannot edit that file. So then its state cannot change, will remain as it is, unless otherwise we have to extract it from that zip folder. First, find the file and folder that you want to decompress and double click on it, and it will open. From there, you need to extract it and put it on the other location. So that's how we can simply do that. Okay. Now let's talk about the print management now. So adding the new peripherals such as the printer, usually connect via the USB. Like yesterday we spoke about the drivers. So now we know in order for the printer to communicate with the computer, we need to install the drivers. The first install the CD that comes with the printer, like that CD contain what is so-called the drivers. Now we know what are the drivers. You can go to the control panel and comma printer and fax, then choose add printer. Using the wizard, it will guide you through the installation, or you can just go straight to the disk and then run the setup and just follow the prompts. So that's how you can do it. There are so many ways in which you can install this. Why changing the default printer? Why do you want to change the default printer to the default of a printer? So let's say you have ColorJet printer for photo, and you have LaserJet printer projects and documents. You know that you are going to use the LaserJet more than the ColorJet, and you don't want to print 100 pages documents essential to ColorJet print, so that you need to keep the other printer as a default that you know you use it more often. So now let's check how to change that to the default printer, and then you go to the start menu, go to the control panel, go to the printer and effects, right click on the printer that you want to make the default, like as you see here. So like after following this process, this is your control panel. Like you see control panel on the directory, then hardware and sounds. Then on the hardware there, we've got printer. If you check here, like they said, add printer, then that's how you can add the printers. All the printers that are added on your computer, then they all just appear here. So now, but remember here, if you see the zero fax and then zero is offline, this one offline, this one is ready. So that means this printer is ready, this one is offline. So now you can just come and right click and then right click on the printer that you want to make the defaults. On the menu that appear, choose what? Set as default here. So that means that printer here will be a default printer. Whenever then you print any document, is going to be printed directly from this printer. It cannot be printed on this unless otherwise then you have to choose the printer on the menu of the documents that you want to print. But by default, if you are just saying print, then it's going to print right on this default printer because you have turned this one to be a default. So that's how then we can turn the printer to be a default. Printing and printing queue. When you send the documents to the printer, the computer stores this file temporarily on the hard disk, waiting for the printer to get ready for it. And this process is called the spooling. When you use the second document to be printed and the first document is not ready to print, the second will be placed on queue. That's a spooling. So then this is how you can also delete this document only to find out you no longer want to print that document that is still spooling. Then you can go direct when you want to delete documents that is already been sent to the printer. Then you open the printer queue here. How do you go that? Through the control panel as well. Printer and fax, click on the printer, click on the file and press the delete files. So when you print on the file, then you'll have this window like this one here that you see here, because it shows here we've got the printer HP DeskJet 960C of the model. So the printer is now offline. That is why all these documents are spooling. So immediately when the printer turns on here, it becomes online. This document will be printed by default. But if you want to delete them, you can just highlight both, then right click and say delete. Then that's how you can delete this. Then I'm going to talk more about now the files. Computer work is saved in a file. Like we know that electronic files need to be organized just as in manual file system. Like this is an example of the manual file system. This is an example of the computerized file system here. So the same way we store that, we can do that. Like for example, we've got the utility under the operating system that is called the file or the Window Explorer file management program supplied with all Windows operating system. Then it looks just like this. So I'm going to elaborate more on this. Like as you can see here, all these labels, they say something. Like for example, number one, this one is what back and forward slash by the color code. You can see that. Number two, Then we are talking about, okay, like I said here, then we check by the color codes here. This one is address bar. So on the address bar is like a directory. It tells us now we are on this computer then, but on this computer, we have accessed the project G, that is a drive. On this drive, then we've got these files in here. So then number 3 is called the search box. Say for example, then I'm just on this PC, then I want to search the FOIA claim, then I can just type it here, then automatically then the search is going to take me into the directory that I can be able to access this file right in there. Then here, toolbar and menu bar ribbons. So this is where now we can hide items, and then file name extensions, show them. Item checkbox, we can just do the configurations of this. Show and hide here. Current view, like for example, also like here we've got option. So sometimes we find that some files cannot be shown because as a result of the virus, then it can come to the option here and explore the folder, hide, and then do that as well. So from there, we've got left navigation pane. So this is where we can navigate through different location on our PC here. So these are the location on this PC. And also this is the main drive of the PC. So all the files of the operating system are in here, and all the programs that we install, they come all in here in the C drive. These are other attached drive on this machine that you see here. Then number 6, then we've got write detail pen here that like you get the information about all these documents. Like we know we've got 1, 2 folders, and then how many files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files of different versions, and the different types of programs can be used to open this kind of programs. Okay, let me just continue. Okay, so we're still talking about the file management, how to manage your computer, more especially than like we said, computer, it does work with what data and then convert into the information. Then we know when we talk about the data hierarchy, then we can start from the zeros and ones, that is a binary. From the binary is a character, any symbol that you type on the keyboard as part of the data. So because computer doesn't understand that language, that is why it needs to convert that into the binary. But now the hierarchy say we start with the binary, then the character is what is simple, a simple item that is on the keyboard. Like I said, is a raw unprocessed items. So when you key in by default, then everything will just happen just like that. So, and then from there, after the character, then we've got the fields, which is a group of the related fields. Then after there, we can have a record. A record is a group of related fields. Then from there, those group of records, they can give us a file. A file then we know is containing a group of related records. So, but now when we group those files all together, then we can have the database. So that's a data hierarchy. That's how the information is represented in the storage of the computer. So, okay, let me just continue. They need to organize the file. Plan your basic folder structure on the paper, or then you can use the smart art in your words. Like for example, what you see here, this is a root folder, this one, the main folder that is containing all these subfolders. Like for example, in this root folder, then I had school as a subfolder and personal as subfolder. Under the personal, then I've got some other subfolders. Like in these folders, I've got cat and the other subjects here in the school. So that means I know should I look anything that is related to cat, I should go to the subfolder school. In there, that's why I'll be able to access this. This is just a directory. So the root folder is this one. That's the main directory where all the things are contained. Like we know under the personal, then we've got the folder that is containing the emails, the music, and the photos. Therefore, then it's just like a directory. It tells you where to access this particular type of the information that you want. the main folder, like I said. Then we've got my file as a main folder, or is a root directory. Then we've got school and personal as subfolders, add subfolders as needed as well. Define each level, that's what you must do. Meaningful folder and file name. Keep the same folder structure on all computer you use. More about the files now. Each program stores the file it creates in its own way. Each file type is given unique icon. Like for example, this icon, they denote the file type like as well. This one is for Word, Excel, the PowerPoint. Then this one is for the text file, so on and on. So then when we go on again, I'm going to put more emphasis about the files. More about the file. File consists of 3 parts, like for example, then I'm talking about the file now. So this is what the name of the file, dot, that is what separate the name to the real file extension, denote the type of the program. That name is given by the user may consist of all the alphabetical character, anything that you want to save it with extension. 3 or 4 letters code that identify the file type. For example, this one we know is Microsoft Word document. So how do we recognize this file is of this type? It can be opened by this program. We always check by its file extension, automatically added by the program when you save the file. Or you can also create it. Now, file extension indicate what type of the file is and which program should be used to open that, like I said. So we don't have to change the file extension of existing file manually. Okay, window can't open this file. This file, you can see the list of suggested program. So like for example, how do you want to open this file? Then you have to go on more application. So for example, if you don't know the type of the file, you have to right click on that file, then go to the properties of the file. Then it can tell you about the format, I mean the type of the file, then you'll know which program to open that file with. Like for example, always app to open .xyz files. Change or set the default program. And also, yes, then like I said, you right click on that file, then you go to the properties of the file, then on it, you can go to change to its default program. Because by default, when you open it, then it will recognize, like we spoke about, turning the printer on the default. So now let's talk about the path. Like the path is like the location. It tells you about the actual location where the file is located. Like if you see here, we've got the drive, the path to specific file might be, like for example, documents, then we know that document is in the D drive. Then we've got the subfolder invoice in it /2017 subfolder. So this is a root directory. It tells you about the path. So that's a root direct. Common file types and extensions that we can recognize and know. Like we know we've got the graphics, like we spoke about. Application program is a task specific program. So that means we can work with the graphics, then we can just create the documents, create the audio and the videos and the other executable programs and portable files like PDF, the compressed files, the plain text, the rich text, and the websites as well. So these are the types of the file that we can use to create these different kinds of the programs that we want. Okay, common file type and extensions. Like this one is image, this is animation, this is a executable file. It's an installation, a setup. But this executable file can only run on a certain platform like Microsoft, but cannot be active on Linux. Then this is an image, then Word documents access, then this is an open office document, that's Microsoft Word. Then this is a Word part of the form, rich text file. So, but you can see here by file extension, it tells you that this is a rich text file. This is an image. This is an image of different types. This is an image as well. This is Word documents. This is another Word document, but in the form of what? Open Office. Like this is PowerPoint here, this is video, and then video as well here, because this is video, the sound, the PDF, the music, and the images. That's it. So this is how all these files looks like. Then you have to be able to distinguish the files. Now, the main operations on the file and the folder, what can you do? You can copy and move or delete or rename, or you can sort them around. Like for example, maybe you set them descending to ascending order, like grade 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or from 12 to 11, so on and on. So it depends on how, this is how you can work with the files and the folders. You can also sort them. Working with the files and the recycle bin. Files deleted from the hard drive are automatically sent to the recycle bin. You can recover file if you have not emptied the recycle bin, but also if the recycle bin has been empty, so you'll have to install the recovery software that will be able, as long as you haven't formatted any storage, you can be able. So there's a possibility that you can be able to use those recovery programs that can be able to restore your programs again. You can create shortcut to any file, folder, resource such as the printer. Like we spoke more about that. I believe now we are familiar with that. Now, work smart. Use the keyboard shortcut. Control Control X means you cut. Control copy. Means V is paste. Control A means select all. Use Shift to select adjacent file. Use Control to select non-adjacent file. So these are the shortcuts that you can use on the keyboard to manage your files. Save files in a format that can be read by other type of the programs. Like for example, then if I'm working on Microsoft Word 2003, so therefore on other computer that I'm using, I've got 2016. That means whenever for the compatibility sake, I save the program, I should choose Word 97 to 2003. That can be able to open in all these versions of this, or share the data, access data with an older operating system. So that's how we can do. So I think that's all about the chapter for today. Thank you.